Hey, welcome back to the Basement Birds. Logan and Reid here for episode number 101.
Wow. A
Whoa.
fresh start.
Is it? Is that what this is? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really think so, honestly. I don't know why I said that, but I did. So
We had
that's what we're going with.
a really good trip down memory lane last week, so I highly encourage you to go and watch episode number 100 where we
Yes.
we took a trip down memory lane, and right now we have 0 views on YouTube. So, really busting down the door there. But it was good. It was fun. We talked about some of our favorite guests, and
Yeah.
some of our favorite moments from the show.
Hey, it's got
So
5 streams on Spotify, though.
yeah, my spot. I was trying to load that up. It's being
What
a
is
little.
the difference between a stream and a play?
I think a stream is on Spotify and a play is well
I
because
should say,
there's
it's
two
a Spotify
separate
plays
categories.
and then streams.
Yeah, streams are other places. So they're
other
streaming it from the
platforms.
RSS feed. So like I think we're only on Apple Podcasts other than Spotify. So,
Got it.
but actually, video. This is big news. Video is coming to Apple Podcast. So,
Yeah,
stay
about
tuned
time.
for that.
What took them so long?
I don't know. It's at towards the end of I want to say March, maybe even sooner. So we'll have to keep an eye on that because right now the RSS feed doesn't support video. So if we want to upload to different places, we would have to upload manually to Apple Podcast because there is a way to set up where you can the RSS feed will get grabbed for YouTube, but then there's no video, so that doesn't do us any good.
That's
But
annoying.
I wanted to talk today about Breaking Bad and some
Yeah.
of a new series that Reid is watching. And then
Yeah,
I
you ever
wanted
heard
to
of it
give
before?
a recommendation a little bit later in the show for a movie / documentary that I just watched a couple days ago with Nicole. But
Oh,
I
okay.
can't believe you haven't watched Breaking Bad before this. Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, sure, we can. Yeah, yeah.
The
I suppose we can talk about that.
I think it's Breaking Bad is such an interesting show, and I'm really going to try hard not to give any spoilers away because
Yeah, no spoilers.
it's really, really, really great. So I want you to
Yeah.
tell me maybe the point you're at and kind of what's happening.
Sure,
Um, I don't care about giving spoilers to other people because I think everybody and their mother has already seen this show except for you. So
I can guarantee that I'm probably the only person in my family that has seen Breaking Bad.
okay, and I guess your family is a pretty big percentage of our listening base. So, but
Yeah.
I still think you should talk about where you're at and not give
Yeah.
away too much.
So last I remember, I'm on.
Last you remember, you were watching it yesterday.
Yeah.
Last I remember.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Calm down. Last I remember, I am on. I just finished episode 2 of season 3.
And there's 5 total seasons, correct?
There are 5 total episodes, so I'm just over the halfway mark. Maybe
5
slightly
seasons.
before, because I think the seasons get longer as they go on. Because I think season 5 is a little bit longer, and season 1 was short. But I'm to the point where Skylar has started divorce proceedings against Walt, and he's in the process of moving out. But at the end of the episode that I just watched is when he sneaks back in and tries to move back in. But then there's the 2 guys from the cartel that are there that are like ready to. They got the axe and they're ready to smash
The twins.
chop them up.
The brothers.
The twins.
Yeah.
But then Walt gets out of the shower and they're not there. So I'm like, ooh, that's really interesting. And then the guy from Saul, one of Saul's guys, is out there watching it all. So I don't really know what's going
Mike.
on. I haven't watched another episode. Is that his name, Mike? I don't know if I know
The
his name
old
yet.
white guy.
Yeah.
Mike
Is his name Mike?
Ehrmantraut.
Okay, yeah. So Mike was there watching, and then it ended. So now I need to watch another episode to find out what's going to happen. But
Yeah,
It's a good show.
They go
I'll
into
say that.
pretty good detail about all of everything, like from the opposite side, which is kind of cool. But
okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I really like the show though. I like how they do the foreshadowing at the beginning of episodes is cool. Like the whole season 2, it was that image of like that bear floating in the water, and like it looked like they showed like the body bags and the crime scenes and stuff, and you really couldn't tell what was going on.
Yeah.
Or like what the whole context was, and then it's finally revealed in the last episode that it's this massive plane crash, which, by the way, the storytelling leading up to that all is insane. With the whole thing with Jesse and the girl that lives across you're in the building chain, and how they get to know each other and form a relationship, and then eventually, she relapses, ODs. Her dad is brought in as a character and is an air traffic controller and is brought back to the job too early and causes plane crash, and it's over the White household. It's crazy. It was very good, like full
The
circle
White House.
storytelling.
I was like, it wasn't over the White House, but the Walter White House.
The White household.
Yeah.
But it was very good, full circle storytelling, where
Yeah.
it was a lot of different parts that, it was very tough to, or it was impossible to essentially figure out how everything was all connected and such, but it was very cool to see it all kind of come together, and the way that they, show the different sides of it, is really neat. So that was really good. Season 1 was good, but Season 2 really picks it up, I feel like, in that regard. And, you've been telling me that, it's just going to get better, obviously. But
Yes.
good start to the 2 seasons, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
So, I'll just tell you this: when I watched it the first time, I've watched it all the way through 3 times.
Did you watch it originally as it was coming out, or did you watch?
No,
okay.
I remember when it was coming out. I was a freshman in high school when the final episode came out. And I remember people like, "Oh, you got to watch." I'm like, "I'm not watching this stupid show. What are you talking about? These guys in his underwear."
Yeah.
And what is happening? I'm not watching this stupid show. But oh my God, how wrong was I? I've tried to talk Nicole into watching it. She's not about it. We watched the first episode. And she wasn't her vibe, but okay. It's widely accepted as one of the greatest television series of all time, but that's neither here nor there. But the first time I watched it, I was getting towards the end, and I had someone spoil the ending. Like I had no idea what the ending was, and someone was like, "Oh,
no.
this is what happens at the end." And I was like, that's not what happens. And then that's what happened. I was like, oh, man. And like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, I wish he didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
And
That's
do
brutal.
you know what happens at the end or no?
I don't know anything about how the show ends. I'm learning it as I go.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
because
I am totally disconnected from the lore of this show, besides what I'm learning as it goes on, which is really cool. I don't know if I've watched shows before, obviously fresh, and have avoided spoilers, but I don't know to this extent if I've avoided spoilers to this extent, or just like not spoilers, but just general discussion around the show, like Stranger Things. Like when I was watching that, I was getting Stranger Things content like recommended to me on other platforms like YouTube and stuff. So I was able. So I didn't have spoilers there, but I had more information, I guess. Than the show was presenting, or like the fan theories and stuff like that. But now I don't really have any of that. I'm not really in tune to that, like, look, which is a fun perspective.
Yeah, and I think you're so far removed from the show being live, where it's like this came out, 10 years ago, just about. More than 10 years ago was the finale, because this would have been 2013. This was 13 years ago.
Yeah.
When the finale came out, right? Is that what you just looked up?
No, but that sounds
that's
right. From what I know.
Yeah,
from what I've read about, because I've done a little reading on timeline of when the show came out and stuff.
Yeah, and so then I watched Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
which was a prequel. It's a prequel to Breaking Bad, and talks more about Saul's journey.
Yeah.
And then there's El Camino.
There's more episodes of that. To than Breaking Bad, correct?
It just finished up not too long ago.
Which one do you think is better?
Breaking Bad is definitely better, but Better Call Saul is also excellent and is highly recommended. At first, I was kind of like, same thing. I was like, I don't know if I want to it seemed kind of slow at first. I was like, I don't know, but then it ended up well worth it, and it was because I was kind of what happened with that was I started watching it while it was still coming out, so I couldn't watch it all the way through. So I'd get to the end and I'd be like, okay, and then I'd be busy, and they'd be like, oh, Better Call Saul, the next season's coming out.
Oh yeah.
And then kind of he and haw about it, or like the finale just came out, but it's not on Netflix. It's on
like a donkey
Paramount or something that I don't have.
Yeah.
So then I didn't watch it for a while, and I wish I would have been able to just watch it kind of straight through.
Yeah.
But then El Camino is a movie, which is a sequel that takes place basically right after Breaking Bad ends.
Okay.
For X amount of time.
And that follows Jesse. Or he's kind of one of the more main. He plays a larger role in it.
I don't even want to tell you. I just not don't. You don't even want to know.
It.
You don't want to know.
Well, he's on the cover.
Yeah. So
he's on all the artwork. Yeah.
He's obviously in the show. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but. I would encourage you to not look at anything with to do with that yet, because
no, I'm not. I'm looking up.
That would definitely include spoilers about Breaking Bad.
I'm looking up ratings for the best TV shows of all time. IMDb rated their top 250 by IMDb users, and Breaking Bad is number 1.
Yep, I told you.
Some other interesting additions to this: Planet Earth 2 is number 2. The Chernobyl miniseries that came out in 2019 is number 5
on HBO. Have you watched that?
Good.
You watched that, right?
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
I just watched it. I think I probably watched it 5 times because it's so
Game of
short.
Thrones is 13. Bluey is 14.
Bluey?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, never
Rick
got
and
into
Morty,
Game of Thrones.
22. Better Call Saul 25. There it is. The fact that the same franchise has 2, close is very crazy.
Vince Gilligan, the guy who created it, whose name is at the beginning every time, he's a really interesting dude. Like he, just to like come up with all this whole universe that he just had in his head is crazy.
I also like how they use the elements in the people's names when you introduce them. That's a very small thing, but
it's attention to detail for sure.
Yeah, this is from? Oh wow, listen to this. This is a list from Penn Libraries from the University of Pennsylvania. So we got the Ivies on this of the best shows. It comes from Rob Sheffield's 100 Greatest TV Shows of All Time from Rolling Stone in 2016. So a little bit out of date, but Breaking Bad was number 3 on this, behind The Sopranos and The Wire.
Oh,
so
yeah, I mean. It's just there's a lot of like Easter eggs in it too, which is why I would encourage you, once you finish, I would say you should watch probably El Camino first, because that's going to be freshest in your brain, right?
Really? Okay.
I'd probably say
it's easier to get through a movie too. Like that's
you're right,
just one
and
movie.
that'll kind of help with some things. Again, I don't want to give away too much.
Tie up some loose ends.
Yeah, and then I would go back and watch Better Call Saul. And then after you do that, because Better Call Saul has a lot of episodes, and so then
there's a lot.
I was inclined to then watch Breaking Bad all the way through again and watch El Camino again. So you basically get through, and you'll understand why.
Wait a second. You're saying, okay. You're saying Breaking Bad, then El Camino, then Better Call Saul, and then go back to Breaking Bad, and then back to El Camino.
Yes, because
so you watch the whole series in a row.
Basically, and so then because Breaking Bad is definitely what you should watch first to get you hooked into the universe, right?
I feel like
universe.
Watching Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul first could be tough because Saul is introduced in season 2.
Yes,
he's not a character from the start, for obvious reasons.
Right, and Bob Odenkirk is really, really a great actor, and he does a really good job as Saul, and you'll see that continue to evolve as that goes on. But because
he's a crazy character.
Oh yeah, you have
not
idea.
Even scratching the surface.
Idea. Yeah, no idea.
There's the whole thing where it's like, when Jesse's girlfriend ODs and he just sends a guy to essentially clean up and wipe Jesse's plate clean. Is crazy.
And that was supposed to be Mike's only. That was his only job. That was going to be his only appearance on the show.
Okay.
But people liked him so much that they brought him. They keep bringing him back.
Nice. Okay, that's cool.
Wrote him into a larger role.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. But to get back to what I was saying though about watching it the second time, is you start now that when you know what the story is, kind of then you can pay a little bit more attention to the small details, and you'll catch more Easter eggs and that kind of stuff in the show, like callbacks or like even foreshadowing into, like you said, into events that will happen. And I mean, if we're being honest, when I guess I watched it so long apart, right? I finished Breaking Bad, and then years later probably watched Better Call Saul. You know, then it was a little bit more removed, so I was forgetting some of the things that happened in Breaking Bad, like some of the smaller details. And so, like, learning about some of those again was really fun.
Yeah.
But it's just a really, really well done show.
Yeah.
And Better Call Saul is nice too once you know the characters, because you get background on some of the later major players that you maybe haven't met yet. And so hearing like their backstories, how they relate to other members of the cast, or like how their paths have crossed in the past, is kind of interesting to hear.
Yeah.
But I mean, just an excellent show. And it was one of those where I watched it for the first time and was like, now I feel like a complete idiot, because I was saying I'm not watching this crap, for so long, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this is literally the best show I've ever seen, the best series I've ever seen.
It's a really weird preface, though, of the show to start it with, though. This chemistry teacher who's diagnosed with cancer and turns to, selling meth to pay for the treatment and to, set his family up for success after. It's a crazy, crazy story,
Yes. And in the first episode, I mean, that was what hooked me, was watching the first episode.
The start to the first episode is wild.
And then it fast forward and says, or it rewinds, I guess, 2 weeks earlier, he's in a classroom teaching high school. I'm like, how do you go from, how do you make that connection? Like, I had to see that through. And that was the spawn of, Walt as a drug dealer, essentially.
Yeah, especially like that opening where he has the camera, and he's sending the message to his family is crazy. It feels like it could be the ending to the show and also the start. Yeah,
well, I think they weren't sure if that was going to be the ending, because they, I think they weren't. None of the networks really wanted to buy the show, and so it was on like AMC or something, right? Like some random network, because HBO didn't want it, and like some of the other major players didn't want it. And what a mistake that was. I'd hate to be that guy who was like, we don't want this show. And I don't know of another series. I mean, because I like to think of that as like one long movie, I mean, essentially that's what it is like a movie that's broken up into hour chunks for over 5 seasons, and however many episodes. Yeah. Because it's one continuous story, and that's what I think. That's what I like about it too. Is like when the series continues to. It's not like The Big Bang Theory is like a slapstick comedy where it's like the same every time, or like NCIS where they're investigating a murder, and like the story's kind of secondary, but like it's like an episodic television show, and. I don't know. I like that aspect. It would have been crazy to watch it while it was coming out, because that was one of those things where you were waiting by the TV, for it to play. Yeah. Which is just really, really great. So I don't know if how you rate it out of 10. Let's see this. So you're probably almost halfway through. Well, you're over halfway through your season 3. Just about halfway, around halfway.
Start of season 3. Yeah, probably just shy of it. Yep.
How would we rate it out of 10 so far?
Right now, probably a 7.5, 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably go there right now. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
Absolutely fair.
Yep.
Yeah, that's I can respect that.
I think it has the potential to be one of my more favorite shows once I'm done with it.
What is your all-time favorite show?
My all-time favorite. If I were to pick one, I'd probably say BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
I love that show. I've watched that. I could rewatch that show so many times.
Yeah, but okay. That's just not my cup of tea, and we've talked about that before. But
Yeah. I really like it.
Okay.
I think it's a perfect mix of like, I don't know, it has the comedy, but it also gets very real, and I think it toes that line incredibly well, which I think is really interesting.
Well, maybe I'll have to give it a try. You listen to me for my recommendation.
Yeah, there you go.
The movie that I was alluding to at the start of the show was the new Miracle documentary that's on Netflix. I think it's called something Miracle, the Boys of the 80s or something. And so that was really, really, real well done. We talked about it a little bit earlier when we were on the phone, but yeah, it's just, I mean, they brought some of the original players back to Herb Brooks Arena in Lake Placid.
That's
which
cool.
is really great, and they watched some of the plays and the highlights from that Olympic run in 1980, and that is on the heels of the war and all that stuff. But like it's just the timing of it right now with the Olympics going on in Milan, it's just I don't know struck a chord with me. So
Yeah.
would highly recommend.
I gotta watch that one. That's on my list.
Yeah, but speaking of the Olympics, we have there was some odd news happening with the Olympics this year. There was a loose dog that crossed the finish line at an Olympic skiing event. This year, skiers competing in the qualifying round of the women's cross-country team sprint at the Winter Olympics in Italy crossed the finish line with an unregistered competitor. This was an escaped dog, of course. The dog, who was a Czech wolfhound, was recorded by NBC Sports cameras as it followed the Croatian skier Tena Hadzik across the finish line, eliciting cheers from the spectators. Wow. English language there in that little chunk was top tier. Biggest cheer of the day, and it's not for any of the skiers so far. And an announcer observed in the footage shared to the official NBC Olympics account on X. Hey, did you know that they're calling a lot of the sports remotely?
Oh, that's not too surprising.
They're doing it. They have their NBC headquarters. I want to say it was in New York. Maybe it was somewhere else. But they've got like a whole row of booths where it was like, oh, these people are doing curling, and they're doing all sorts of crazy production stuff. But
Yeah.
that's a conversation for another time. The canine turned out to be a Czech wolfhound named Nazgul, after the ring wraiths from the Lord of the Rings. Haven't seen that movie either. Any of those movies. Have you seen those movies?
No.
Lord of the Rings?
Nope, I have not.
Nazgul's owner told NPR the 2-year-old dog is stubborn, yet very sweet. Yes, yet very sweet. He was crying this morning more than normal because he was seeing us leaving, and I think he just wanted to follow us, the owner said. He always looks for people. Nazgul was safely returned after making the photo finish at the Olympics in Italy.
Incredible.
So incredible is correct. I love that. Love that.
Well, my story is not Olympics related, but mine is about an Amazon van that followed a GPS to a military firing range and got stuck in some mud, which is a great
oh my! Yeah.
This is in Britain. The HM Coast Guard Southend-on-Sea. That's the name. I don't fully know what that is exactly, but they responded Sunday morning to the Broomway, which is a 600-year-old 6-mile, quote, walking path out to the Thames estuary. Definitely said that right.
Well, Thames is definitely, that's how they say the River Thames.
I don't know what the other word is. Yeah, Thames.
River Thames in England.
So this Amazon driver, he was trying to get to Foulness Island and follow the GPS directions that led to the Broomway in Great Wakering, Essex. These are some weird names. Holy cow. So took the turn onto here, and the van, of course, got stuck on the mud. Shocker. The Coast Guard said that the route is not for vehicles and should only be walked on with a guide who knows the mud flats. It's an extremely dangerous area and is on Ministry of Defense property, only free to access when the firing ranges are not active and the barrier is open. So this could have ended. This could have ended pretty poorly, but luckily it didn't. And they said that the driver was able to safely exit the van and report the incident to Amazon. So this guy has surely been laid off, and the van was removed on Sunday. So no more van, and that guy probably doesn't have a job either.
I don't know if he got. I mean, he maybe just made a mistake, and at least he. I mean, I would assume he wouldn't have gotten in there if they were shooting on the firing range, because the gate would have been closed, unless he just
That's fair.
bombarded his way through the gate. But
if you're that determined to get lost, maybe so. Isn't there that clip from The Office when they drive into the lake or something like that?
yeah, when he's like turn left, and it's Steve Carell and
Yeah, Michael driving into a lake.
yeah, Dwight, the guy who plays Dwight Schrute.
Yes.
So, yeah, and they drive.
So maybe-
they follow the GPS right into the lake.
Maybe that's what happened. They wanted to just, see that the GPS was, working or not. And they're like, we're just going to see what happens.
Yeah. Well, all the power to them. I gotta.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do.
Leave it to Amazon, though. So I guess if you had a package delayed in Britain, it may have been stuck in the mud.
It might have been stuck in the mud.
You
Yeah, I
know,
love that.
Could have been stuck in the mud. You never know.
All right.
never know.
Well, a little bit of a shorter episode today. That's all right. We had a good conversation about Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And again,
get watching some more.
If you haven't seen episode number 100, that's available right now on the YouTube, Spotify, and Apple podcast page. Video versions, of course, available only on Spotify and YouTube. Had a nice social media post, which I didn't hear anything about, so maybe you didn't see it, but it was our announcement of our episode number 100.
Oh,
So
I
you
did
should
see
definitely
that. Yeah, good job.
head over to
Sorry,
our
I haven't been on social
Instagram,
media much recently.
our Instagram, Facebook, no, not Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
We're not on
and
Facebook.
YouTube page. Sauce us a like, sauce us a follow,
Yeah.
and then have a little bit of pasta fagioli with all that sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, it's a great
Sure, we'll
day.
go
It's
with that.
warm outside. It's cold in here. It's cold in the basement. I'm going to go drink some Gatorade. We'll catch you all in the next one.
See ya.